Okay, so let's unpack this one. Jay Shetty's Think Like a Monk.
Right.
Based on the notes, the core idea seems to be mixing that ancient monk wisdom with, modern self-help stuff.
Exactly. It's quite a blend.
And our goal here for this deep dive is figuring out how adopting that kind of mindset can help you get a handle on your thoughts, maybe find your purpose, let go of negativity, build some peace and compassion, and crucially, doing it all without having to actually renounce the world and live in a monastery.
Yeah, and that's what I found really fascinating in the sources. It's not about escaping your life.
Right.
It's about finding that stillness, that presence right inside the life you already have. It's practical.
Absolutely. So let's maybe start with identity. Like, who are you, really? It feels like we're always dealing with other people's expectations.
Constantly.
How do you even begin to cut through that noise and find your own sort of true self?
Well, that really brings up a huge question, doesn't it? How do you actually define your own values?
Yeah.
And importantly, how do you detach from those labels, those maybe false ideas that get put on you?
Detach. Yeah.
Shetty has this quote, it's really powerful. Detachment isn't about owning nothing. It's about letting nothing own you.
Oh, wow.
So it's about that mental freedom, you see, not necessarily about getting rid of all your stuff.
That makes sense. A very different way to think about it. Okay, so if you get clear on who you are, the next hurdle seems to be negativity.
Yeah.
It's just
And
so
contagious, right?
It really is. Spreads easily.
So how do we silence that internal chatter, the external noise?
Well, this is where he gets quite practical. He offers this 3S formula.
3S.
Yeah. You spot the negativity, you stop yourself from feeding it, and then you swap it with something positive.
Spot, stop, swap.
So think about like toxic environments or getting sucked into gossip or even just your own overthinking. You catch it.
You consciously decide not to engage. And maybe you actively shift your focus to, say, gratitude or something constructive. It's about breaking that pattern.
That's actually a really clear, actionable framework. I like that. And speaking of being intentional, routines come up. Monks obviously have these very structured days for clarity, but the book says you don't need an ashram for that.
Exactly. No ashram required.
So how does that idea apply to, our messy daily lives?
It connects back to consistency, really. Building intentional habits, even small ones.
What kind of habits?
Well, the book suggests things you could try, like waking up a bit earlier, maybe journaling about gratitude, even just practicing conscious breathing for a few minutes.
Simple things.
Yeah, or reducing screen time. We all know how easily the day can just sort of happen to us.
Definitely.
Shetty's point is that reclaiming even small pockets of time with intention can make a huge difference. It builds that clarity.
That really drives home how practical this can be. Okay, what about purpose? We often chase status, success in the usual way.
Right, the standard metrics.
But the book argues true fulfillment isn't found there, so where is it?
This is where the concept of seva comes in. It's a Sanskrit word, basically meaning selfless service.
Save?
Yeah. The argument is that real purpose, deep meaning, it comes from serving others, not just from your personal achievements or success.
So it's about giving back.
It's finding that intersection, what you're good at, what you love, what the world needs, sure, but linking it to how you can contribute beyond yourself. That's where the fulfillment lies, according to Shetty.
That's a pretty radical redefinition of success for many people.
It is.
Okay, one last core idea. Fear. It's always there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And nobody wants it running the show. What's the monk approach here?
Instead of just fighting fear directly, the insight is about understanding its root. Where does it actually come from?
Going deeper than just the surface feeling.
Exactly. Because often fear shows up in disguise, right? Like procrastination or needing everything to be perfect or endless overthinking. When you can kind of see behind the mask, understand the real source, that gives you the power to disarm it rather than just wrestling with the symptom.
That makes a lot of sense. Get to the cause.
Fundamentally, Think Like a Monk is really all about being more present, finding that purpose we talked about, and cultivating peace right in the middle of your everyday life. It's an internal toolkit.
Yeah, it feels like it shows how small shifts in thinking, in acting, in serving can genuinely lead to big transformations over time.
Absolutely.
Hopefully this deep dive gives you some practical ways to maybe reduce stress, find a bit more clarity, and lead a life that feels more meaningful to you.
Yes. It's about making those significant internal shifts without necessarily needing a dramatic life overhaul.
So here's something to maybe leave you with. In a world that so often tells you success is about getting more stuff, more status, How might embracing these monk-like ideas like detachment and selfless service actually change your whole definition of what a truly rich and peaceful life looks like? Something to think about.